Hey guys, so it's time for me to do a special edition. It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's to everybody who's maybe watching this. Now, of course, it being the end of the year, I have to do my top 10 best and worst list. I did that last year. I've done it every year since I've been doing these reviews, so I figured I'd start or finally get. It took me a while. I will say this: it took me a while to get these lists done because it's been an interesting year. While there's been a lot of good stuff, there's been a lot of bad stuff too. I've seen, um, and first I'll do the best list on this video, and then the next video will be there'll be another video for the worst. But this year's had plenty of both, honestly. I actually filled out made a list of the movies. I had I think 17 movies for the best, and dwindled down to 10, and also I think 14, 13 for the worst, and dwindled it down to 5. I could honestly, I almost thought about doing a top 10 for the worst, but I kind of decided last minute not to. Let's get the first top 10 list, top 10 best movies of the year list. This year's been pretty good in movies, in my opinion. A lot of people have said this is one of the best years in a while. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Yeah, it has been. It was way better than last year. Last year was horrible, a horrible year in movies. This year improved, and next year looks even fucking better. Honestly, let's get right into it. I don't want to keep going on and on. I'm not. I'm gonna try to make this video not very long. Number 10 was the Lego Movie. I fucking love the Lego Movie. I even own a shirt. I've worn it a couple times in my videos. It basically has a picture of Emmett. Says everything is awesome. That's how much I fucking love the movie. I own a fucking shirt for the movie, and a movie that's supposed to be a kids movie, was very spoke to not just kids but also adults, and not just adults that used to play with Legos. It spoke to just people who used to be kids in general. Honestly, it was a movie that you didn't have to be a Lego fan to love. This movie and the directors of this movie, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, directed two great movies. This and 22 Jump Street. And I was deciding which one I wanted to put on this list, because I love both movies. I ended up deciding with the Lego Movie because of how much fun that movie is. Honestly, it was one of my favorite films of the year, early on. It was great. Of course, the twist at the end with Will Ferrell and stuff like that has been talked about, and that was fucking fun. That was great. It also brought a really nice humanity to it. I love the character of Emmett. Chris Pratt. This has been the year of Chris Pratt, in my opinion. And this was the beginning of the big year, breakout year for him. This movie, he was great in almost every fucking body. I loved even Liam Neeson as the good cop, bad cop. Will Arnett as Batman, all that stuff like that. That was great. Number 9 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Fucking love this movie. Honestly, in some ways, this movie was better than the second one or the first one. It had an awesome story. I thought the first had one of the best opening sequences of this year, honestly. And the scene where they just showed apes and their civilization. It's all in sign. It's all told with no dialogue and just sign language. Amazing. It was well done. And also the movie in general just had fucking, again, it sold me on the fact that it was gonna have apes on horseback with machine guns. That alone sold me on the movie. But in general, the movie was really good. Why it's not a little higher is the problem that it is. It does have the problem where the human characters are not as interesting as the actual apes. But luckily, the apes are the main focus in this movie, luckily. And when they're the focus, and I didn't really hate the human characters either. I actually really loved Gary Oldman in this movie. Honestly, I thought he should have been in the movie more. Definitely recommend seeing that. Number 8 is Birdman. Some people will probably be shocked that this is not higher, and I'm sure this is like, unlike a lot of people's number 1. Birdman, I love Birdman. There's not much I could say about it. It hasn't already been said. But it was, this is the year where we got the comeback movie for Michael Keaton. It's awesome. He's awesome in this movie. He definitely deserves the fucking Oscar. I hope he does. There's only one other performance this year that should fucking be in contention along with Michael Keaton, but Michael Keaton was amazing in this movie. He was great, and also Edward Norton was just as good in my opinion. Honestly, deserved an Oscar as much as he did. I loved Edward Norton in this movie. He was phenomenal. And pretty much everybody was great in this movie. And like again, I love the fact also that this movie was one continuous take, and it really fucking worked for this movie. It was made to look like one continuous take, and it looked amazing. It was well done, and I highly recommend seeing it. Number 7, X-Men: Days of Future Past. Definitely, in my opinion, the best X-Men movie to date. Beat X-Men First Class. This movie fucking kicked my ass the first time I saw it. Still love it. One of the darkest X-Men movie of them all. Holy shit, so many people die in that movie. Brutal fucking deaths. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I remember how fucking brutal. Still remember how brutal that movie was. Jesus Christ. And it was a movie that just kept me interested the whole fucking time. Like, I love the story. It kept me in suspense, honestly. Like, there was a real feeling of danger for these main characters that you know and love for the first time in the whole fucking series, in my opinion, with these Sentinels and stuff. I was honestly fearing that they would not make it by the end of this movie. Number 6, John Wick. One of the biggest surprises of the year, in my opinion, just hands down, like one of the, and for the first time ever, Keanu Reeves is on in a movie that's on my top 10 list. That's a fucking record. This movie is the best action movie of the year. Well, there is one other one, but that could go on that. But it's definitely the best. It's definitely one of the best action movies of the year. This movie was fucking great. It's just Keanu Reeves shooting people in the face because they fucking killed his dog. That's all you need to know. And it's simple. It's fucking this. It's honestly this year's Dredd, and the fact that it's amazing. It didn't make a lot of money, but it's getting a cult following. Thank God. Keanu Reeves in that movie was amazing. The best performance I've seen in a long fucking time. This is something that this is one of those roles I hope Keanu Reeves goes back to doing, because this is like what he's good at. I don't want to see Keanu Reeves keep doing stuff that's out of his acting range, like doing Shakespeare or something stupid like that. Fucking yeah. Next, number 5, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This one, for a while, could have been like, for a while earlier this year, could have been number 1, honestly. I love Captain America. It was a great movie. It's the best, better than the second one. Definitely, honestly, it's the second best Marvel movie of the year, honestly, it's kind of tough between the two Marvel movies that came out this year, which one was better. But honestly, this comes in close second. This could have been easily number 1. And some people might actually put this at number 1. I wouldn't doubt. Yeah, I love this movie. This is one of the best Marvel movies because it does something different that hasn't been done before. It's like a espionage thriller, in a Marvel, and it's a Marvel movie. It's fucking amazing. Like, I never would have expected that. Like, it's awesome. It's dark as shit. Another really dark as shit comic book movie. Although I know we get a lot of those, but this movie fucking worked. People die, and like honestly, it's another like X-Men: Days of Future Past where honestly you kind of were like in the fear for a lot of the main characters' lives. Like, And Marvel. This has been a great year for Marvel, and this was a good example. Holy shit! There's a big ass bug sitting right next to me. Hold on a second. Jesus Christ. Anyways, number 4. This is historic for anybody who's been following my list every year. Number 4 is Life Itself, the first documentary to make my top 10 list of best film of the year. This is the documentary about Roger Ebert. This is number 4 through 5 through numbers 5 through 1. Honestly, could have been easily the best film of the year. And it was honestly, these are the 5 that really were the standouts that I could have interchanged at any moment. Honestly, I probably will end up changing this after this. But number 4 was Life Itself, a documentary about Roger Ebert, and this movie is a really interesting, a retrospective on one legendary critic's career. Roger Ebert, if you didn't see my reviews, like my idol. I love Roger Ebert. I miss him. He's he's the reason why I wanted to get critique films and stuff like that. I wish I could be somebody like him. And honestly, you don't have to be a Roger Ebert fan to love this movie. It's a really emotional ride. It's a tough movie to sit through. It is. You don't pull punches. I mean, you see some really heart-wrenching stuff in this movie. It basically shows the last few months of his life, and like him being in a lot of pain and him having emotional breakdowns at some points. And the ending is really depressing. It is, because when they talk about his final moments of his life, and it's so sad. It's a really good movie. It honestly was only one of the few movies this year that honestly got me teared up. It was honestly my review for it. I actually started to get teared up. That's how emotional this movie was for me. It was a great movie. I hope it wins Best Documentary. Honestly, this doesn't even get fucking nominated. It's a fucking crime. This is it's critically acclaimed. Everybody loves it. Not just it's a damn good movie. I even got a good tweet. The tweet I did about this movie actually got retweeted by the director, which was so cool for me. I support their movie. I love Life Itself. It's such a great movie. Number 3, Nightcrawler. This is definitely the surprise of the year, because this is the movie that I've said to many people that came out of fucking nowhere for me. Nightcrawler was one of those movies I kept getting commercials for, and I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And I kept hearing really good things about it, so I'm like, alright, I'll go fucking see, because there was nothing else out. Oh my god, was this... I didn't know much about it going in, but oh my god, this is one of those movies that is so amazing. I can't wait to go watch it again when it comes on DVD and Blu-ray. Jake Gyllenhaal's performance rivals Michael Keaton's as the most for the best performance of the year. Honestly, I'm in the boat. I want to see Jake Gyllenhaal surprise everybody and win the Best Actor award this year. Jake Gyllenhaal, this is one of his career-defining performances, in my opinion. Honestly, it is. He plays, if you don't know, he plays a fucking crazy fucking sociopath who's fucking psychotic. That it's a role that only Jake Gyllenhaal, in my opinion, could pull off. Because he's charming, and also I've heard a lot of people say Rene Russo was amazing in this movie, and she was. It was a return to the return of Rene Russo, and I think she kind of got lost in the shuffle. Everybody's giving Jake Gyllenhaal so much praise, but she got lost in the shuffle and the praise. Luckily, Jake Gyllenhaal's getting a Golden Globe nomination. I'm hoping that maybe he'll get Oscar. I'm thinking he'll get Oscar nominations. This role has been critical acclaim. If you haven't seen it, my God, check it out when it comes on Blu-ray or DVD later. I think it comes out in February. It's one of those performances that people have compared it to his performance to Christian Bale in American Psycho, and honestly, I'm in the same boat. It's that good. It's that, like, career defining. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, and this is my favorite performance of his, period. I know people love Donnie Darko, but this is even way fucking better. Like, 10 times better than Donnie Darko. And the movie also is just a great commentary on the news media as it is. Number 2, Gone Girl. Man, oh man, this was one of those movies that I wanted to, like, this one and number 1 are, like, I really could have interchanged. Like, I was going back and forth which one I wanted to put at number 1. This and the actual number 1 movie. Gone Girl was one of the most insane fucking movies of the year, along with Nightcrawler. Was the most insane movie I've seen all year. It was a wild fucking ride that I still don't forget. It's still, to this day, like honestly, I'm glad I didn't read the book beforehand, because I tell that people all the time, don't read the book beforehand, because all the great twists. It's great to not know what's coming, because when it does, you're just gonna sit there and go, what the fuck am I watching? The amazing breakout turn for Rosamund Pike as one of the most craziest bitches I've ever fucking seen. One of the most frightening women I've ever seen. Oh my god, she's so fucking good. And this is like, Fincher, has written all over it. This movie is amazing. The twists, like I said in my review, I guessed like pretty much right away what really was going on, and like you do find out. Like I always tell people, you do find out an hour into the movie what is really going on, what really happened to her. But and I was worried when that happened that the movie would just kind of go downhill from there, but no, it doesn't. It gets more fucking crazy from there. Holy shit, was this movie insane. Recommend fucking watching Gone Girl. And the number 1 film of the year. I know some people are going to disagree with me on this one, but there's a lot of people that will agree with me, and there's a lot of people that will disagree with me. But I'm going with what movie that I could watch again and again and again and again and again, and it has a lot of that watchable, like a lot of replayable value, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy. Fuck it, right here. Guardians. Got it right here. Guardians. What can I say about this movie? They took a movie where they took a movie where you got all these great characters, and honestly, the best characters, the most compelling characters are a talking tree and a talking raccoon. And I'm not dissing the whole movie, or like dissing the rest of the people in this movie, but honestly, Groot and Rocket Raccoon were fucking amazing. And this movie was just a fucking blast. The soundtrack was amazing. The cast was amazing. The movie was hilarious, even though it started out with mom dying, which made me like go, what the fuck. This movie was so funny. I love this movie. Like, it was the funnest movie of the year. It is the best Marvel movie, even though Captain America is great as much as it is. This movie, is like what I love about Marvel movies, in that you just sit back and have fun with them. While Captain America was a little bit more serious than their usual films. This was everything I love about Marvel movies, that they don't take themselves way too seriously like DC does. And they'll do some off-the-wall shit like this movie was, where it had a talking raccoon and a talking tree that were some of the best characters. And again, Chris Pratt, I love this guy. I'm glad to see that he's getting, now a big star. That's good for him. If there's anybody that deserves it, it's fucking him. Good for him. I'm happy for him. And fucking Dave Bautista, the wrestler, the guy that, is, kind of like wanting to retire from wrestling. Now he can, because this movie gave him his breakout role, and he was great in this movie. Like, some people even said this is the best performance by a wrestler other than The fucking Rock in a movie ever. And I fucking agree. He was amazing in this movie. He was actually really good. He was really funny. I don't know what else I could say about this movie. This movie was great. It was funny. It was fun. I could watch this over and over and over and over and over again and still love it. I honestly want the fucking soundtrack for this movie. I still do. I heard they have like a mixtape like they did in the movie that Star-Lord had. Like, I want to get that. I really do. But anyways, yeah, fuck it, I love this movie. I recommend seeing it. It ended up being the highest grossing film of the year. It was the film that was a gamble for Marvel, because nobody had really heard of this movie. And I love the fact that this movie became the highest grossing film of the year. It's amazing. Good for this movie. It was a strong word of mouth. And also, one of the reasons why this movie's #1, fuck, this movie made me want to see a Howard the Duck movie. It actually made me kind of go, you know what? Fuck it. I will see a Marvel Studios Howard the Duck movie. That's how good this movie was. Anyways, that's my top 10 list. I'm sure people are gonna disagree. Again, it's my opinion. Whatever, fuck it. You can disagree. I want to hear anybody tell me what their top 10 list was. Let me know in comments and everything. And I'll be back here shortly with a top 5 worst of the year list.